With 36 gubernatorial races happening this midterm cycle, Democrats have their eyes on Nevada as the party looks to flip the governor's seat blue for the first time in nearly 3 decades. One America's Rachel Ribaudo takes a deeper look at the 4 frontrunners and their stances on some of the state's most critical issues.
It hasn't happened since 1989, but Democrats are determined to take back the governorship in the Silver State. The party's 2 frontrunners are Clark County Commission Chairman Steve Sisolak and his challenger, Clark County Commissioner Chris Gianciliani. While the 2 Democrat hopefuls see eye to eye on most issues, Gianciliani has blasted her opponent as a flip-flop candidate. This comes after a damning report resurfaced from more than 2 decades ago, showing Sisolak once opposed gun control expansion and the legalization of gay marriage.
I might have filled out a questionnaire 22 years ago. I don't even remember. But I can tell you that I'm an adult. My opinions have changed.
But his backtracking has not seemed to hurt him in the polls, as an April survey showed him leading over his female challenger by 3 percentage points. Still, it won't be an easy battle for Democrats to win back Nevada's governor's seat, as one of the party hopefuls will have to face off against some high-profile Republicans. On the GOP side, the 2 Republican frontrunners are Nevada Treasurer Dan Schwartz and State Attorney General Adam Laxalt, whose grandfather previously held titles as Governor and U.S. Senator of Nevada. But perhaps more important than the candidates' qualifications are the issues facing voters. Since last year's deadly mass shooting in Las Vegas, gun control reform has certainly been a hot topic. Both Sisolak and Gianciliani believe the answer to gun violence is to challenge Second Amendment rights. If elected governor, the 2 Democrat candidates have vowed to ban bump stocks, assault weapons, and high-capacity magazines.
My immediate thing I need to do is we need to implement background checks. We need to ban bump stocks, ban weaponry, assault rifles, weapons of war, and ban expanded cartridges.
They also support universal background checks on all gun sales and transfers in the state. Much like his Democrat counterparts, Republican challenger Adam Laxalt, who was endorsed by the NRA, also supports a statewide ban on bump stocks. But when it comes to tightening background checks, he takes a different approach. In 2016, Laxalt's Attorney General office blocked the so-called Question 1 ballot measure passed by voters that would have increased background checks on gun sales. He later called the measure flawed and unenforceable.
Question 1 sounds good because we all support background checks, but Question 1 is a sloppy legal disaster. It's poorly written and could put honest Nevadans in jail.
His GOP challenger Dan Schwartz did support the measure and blasted Laxalt for blocking it, saying if the people voted for it, then the law should stand. In terms of school safety, both Laxalt and Schwartz are supporters of increasing school security by arming and providing better training to school resource officers, while their Democrat opponents have both opposed arming schools, arguing guns are not the solution, they are the problem.
I don't think the answer is necessarily putting more guns in the school. Yes, we need to arm our CCSD police officers, but we need to do a lot more when it comes to guns. We need to get to the bottom of what's happened.
No one has necessarily said that you needed more armed, trained officers. You do definitely need officers that are trained, but you don't want people that will escalate a situation. But I don't want to arm teachers either. That would be just totally inappropriate.
Another key issue facing Nevadans is taxes, or rather how their tax dollars are spent. This as the Silver State became the new home of the Oakland Raiders, but at a very high cost. More than $700 million of taxpayer money have gone to build the 65,000-seat stadium in Las Vegas. Out of the 4 frontrunners in the state's gubernatorial race, Democrat Steve Sisolak is the only one to support the NFL move and actually played a key part in negotiations to relocate the team.
This is going to bring in a lot of new events, not just the Raiders. We're talking about having a Super Bowl here in the next 6, 7, 8 years. We're talking about potentially bringing in a Final Four for NCAA basketball, rock concerts that we never got before, another bowl game. Neutral site football games that are going to come that are going to bring people in, that are going to spend money, and they're going to stay in their hotel rooms. Those are all positive things.
This as Republican candidate Dan Schwartz has voiced outrage over the stadium, calling it a waste of taxpayer dollars and threatening to deny funding for the construction of new roads around the stadium if elected governor.
We are absolutely dead last in this country in terms of education, so why we are spending $750 million to build a football stadium for a bunch of billionaires is beyond me.
In this contentious primary race, it will be interesting to see which candidates come out on top and if Democrats will be able to take back the governor's seat in November. Rachel Ribaudo, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.